It's the biggest clash of the Championship season so far as Leeds head to Leicester. Here's my take on how it might go down. Everything about this matchup smacks of significance with two huge Championship names head to head for the first time since relegation from the Premier League last season. Then you throw in the state of play in the league table and this really starts looking like a very big game. Hosts Leicester have been in record-breaking form on their return to the EFL and are setting an astonishing pace up in first place. It's 13 wins out of 14 so far for the Foxes, and they are on a sensational streak of 9 wins in a row. All of this has put Leicester a massive 14 points clear of third place as the chasing pack tried desperately not to let them get too far over the horizon. That third place team is, of course, Leeds United. They've been in very decent form themselves, but they gave Leicester and second placed Ipswich a 3-game head start back in August, and so far that has been savagely taken advantage of. So the stakes look pretty high for Friday night's mouth-watering head-to-head. If you're Leicester, a win puts a 17-point gap between themselves and a huge, maybe their biggest rival this season. If you're Leeds and you want to reel in the top two and home in on those automatic promotion spots, what better way to set the pathway by taking their head off the snake? How exactly will this huge clash be won and lost? Well, the first thing to note is that we can say with probably quite a lot of certainty that the philosophy of the two managers and the fact that we're only in November will see both sides going out to win this game. Enzo Maresca's 3-2-5 attacking shape with the ball has made Leicester very productive at the top end. They lead the division for XG, and I bet you can't guess who's second. That's right, Leeds, under a manager in Daniel Farke, who has 2 Championship title wins on his CV, the first of which particularly was one with some absolutely thrilling attacking football. Leicester, though, are just not your normal relegated Premier League club, and the fact that they went from basically an established top-end side to the Championship following one bad season means that they've managed to retain a hugely high level of quality. There is so much star power, but the really key players this season seem to have been Ricardo Pereira, who's responsible for moving into centre midfield from fullback to make that on-the-ball shape work, and support Harry Winks, who in the Championship has the air of a Year 11 playing against the Year 7s on the high school playing field. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall looks levels above as an attacking number 8, and there is an embarrassment of riches in the 2 inside forward positions to support either Vardy or Iheanacho. Simply put, Leicester are for the rest of the Championship a horrible combination of a well-coached team with better players and more of them than probably anyone else. Leeds are no pushovers themselves, and particularly at the top end of the pitch, and maybe in the dugout we could have a debate about them having comparable or maybe even better individuals than Leicester. New signings for this season, Ampadu and Kamara, were partnered in central midfield last time out at Huddersfield. Pirro, well, that always seemed like it was going to be a home run signing from Swansea. And Jorginho Ruta has been in great form after a difficult start following his expensive arrival back in January. Like Leicester, there is lots of quality in the wide positions. James and Somerville did both score last time out, both scored twice in fact, and although they might have had some recent popularity issues with the Ellen Road crowd, Willie Gnonto and Pat Bamford should both still be well above the level needed. I guess the giant gap in the league table means if there is a must-win value on this game, it's for Leeds. A defeat for Leeds in this one, and you'd need a pretty extreme fall from grace from Leicester for them to allow themselves to be reeled in with a 17-point cushion. A draw for Leeds doesn't do anything to change that huge 14-point gap, but surely works better for the Foxes. What I would say, however, though, is it does get the away leg of this head-to-head out of the way and would mean that as we come back round for all the second fixtures this campaign, Leeds will already have played away at Leicester, Ipswich and Southampton, and therefore face them at home as the season ramps up. And even though we're focused on the two teams playing in this head-to-head, we can't deny that Ipswich and Southampton supporters and the staff probably will be watching this with absolute fascination. Given that Leicester were in the Premier League and Ipswich were in League One last season, it's not unreasonable for those chasing the top two to be targeting Ipswich rather than Leicester for some kind of overtake at some point down the line. It's obviously every club for themselves here, and I'm sure there'll be varying theories from rival fans as to which team or teams they'd like to see drop points on Friday. Now, I'll get into predictions for this one with Sam Parkin on the Championship Check-In podcast tomorrow night. It's hard to predict the outcome, for God's sake, but we know what the consequences will be. A convincing Leicester win, that'd be 10 in a row, and let's be honest, everyone is going to be saying it's all done and dusted and making Leicester the earliest champions-elect in the history of the second tier. A convincing Leeds win, and it's a statement of intent about catching either or both of the current top two. A tighter game could obviously swing in either direction, definitely make for a great spectacle on the TV and a great advert for Championship football. There we go, that is my thoughts on a big, huge, massive Championship matchup to start off your footballing weekend. Let me know your take down there in the comments, and if you want to stick with the channel, then click right up here to see my latest game of higher or lower with my 1 to 24 pre-season predictions. Will this game make me want to rethink things further? I wonder.